is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, April the 10th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. 2 more people were charged this morning in Magistrates Court in connection to that December 2nd demonstration. Both 38-year-old Chris Ferber Jr. of Southampton and 53-year-old Anthony Burgess of Hamilton Parish deny charges that they prevented the Minister of Finance from entering the House of Assembly on December 2nd, 2016, and obstructed police. According to News, both pleaded not guilty, elected to be tried in the Supreme Court, were granted $1,000 bail, and were ordered to appear at the May Supreme Court arraigned session. In other news, detectives tonight on the hunt for the culprit responsible for breaking into 10 buses at the St. George's Depot and stealing cash from each of them. The exact amount of cash removed from the buses remains unclear. However, as Tarai tells us, the theft from the public buses is just the tip of the iceberg where it concerns the state of our public transportation.
You're looking at video taken today of the buses in question at the St. George's Depot, where the theft took place. The video was shot by an unknown person and circulated on social media with others. It shows that the culprit or culprits responsible not only removed cash from each of the buses, but removed the entire glass vault which passengers placed their tickets or cash into. Police say they received the official complaint from transport officials at around 6:30 Monday morning, where the culprit is believed to have struck overnight. The incident raising numerous questions, such as why the St. George's Depot is without security overnight and why buses are parked overnight with cash still inside of them. One transportation source suggesting the lack of a security guard in St. George's was a result of budget cutbacks by the Ministry of Transport and Tourism, and the bus garage on Palmetto Road in Devonshire is also without overnight security. The situation in St. George's pales in comparison to the bus garage in Somerset, which we understand does have overnight security. One transportation source telling Bermuda Broadcasting News the bus service is now in a critical state, with morale among the ranks and the level of service to the public at its lowest level in Bermuda's history. With bus route cancellations now almost a weekly occurrence, it is further understood that there is a strong chance of bus operators downing tools out of frustration in the future. And where it concerns buses being taken out of service due to mechanical issues, our newsroom understanding further that one of the key reasons is outdated tools and equipment used to repair the vehicles, which are reportedly so outdated that they are useless in some instances, with no public plans to replace them. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And in response to the incident, a ministry spokesperson telling us as a result of the theft, there was a delay in commuter bus service coming out of the East End. The Department of Public Transportation takes this opportunity to apologize for any inconvenience caused to passengers this morning. Unfortunately, the damage caused to the vaults will require the affected buses to be taken out of service to undergo repairs. As such, it's anticipated that there will be a delay in service tomorrow morning as well. In other news, police are looking into 2 cases of armed robberies and an attempted robbery taking place over the weekend. All of the incidents involved taxi drivers as victims. The first robbery happened at 11:15 p.m. Friday night in St. George's, where a taxi at the Mid-Ocean dock was approached by 2 unknown men who demanded cash, one of whom wielded a gun. The bandits escaped with the money, and the male driver suffered a non-life-threatening cut to the head. Elsewhere at 9:50 p.m. Sunday night, 2 men demanded cash from a taxi driver on Cashew City Road in St. David's. The taxi was stationary and the culprits escaped only with a personal item, and the driver suffered a cut to his shoulder, which was not deemed to be serious. Then, in an attempted robbery Friday night on Cut Road in St. George's, a taxi at the bus turnaround was approached by 2 men, one of whom also wielded a gun and demanded items. However, that driver was able to speed away without harm. In all 3 incidents, the suspects were described as 2 men wearing dark-colored clothing that may have been traveling on a dark-colored motorcycle. Any witnesses or anyone with relevant information should contact the Criminal Investigation Department on 247-1744 or the confidential Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. We'll stay with us. We'll have more news and tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking, along with the Salad Bar, Sandwich Bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Pray for it, plan for it, bring someone to it. The Good News Gospel Explosion begins April 8, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton Adventist Center, King Street, Hamilton. Come and hear renowned evangelist Claudius Morgan as he presents the Word of God every night except Thursdays. You will hear explosive, revealing, dynamic, entertaining, spirit-filled, exciting messages from the Word of God. If it's in the Word, it deserves to be heard.
The world is getting smaller.
We travel more.
We see more.
We do more.
So you need a bigger health plan like Premier Health.
You have easy access to benefits at home.
1 million U.S. providers accept your ID card
for college, vacation, and business travel.
With 24/7 worldwide assistance,
U.S. pharmacy benefits,
and 96% of claims settled in 5 days,
Premier Health offers you the care you deserve.
Colonial, where people come first.
CGIGroup.com.
Step into the next generation of sinks, faucets, tubs, and more with the bold look of Kohler. Choose from a range of whole room solutions, or let an individual piece be your guide for a feel-good, look-good quality. Pure inspiration at your fingertips. Kohler's Next Generation Showroom at BAC.
A young Bermudian man has come up with a unique idea to help end the ongoing gang warfare. To use his words, Desmond Crockwell said he came up with the idea to launch Visions magazine after he could no longer stand by and watch other young men killing each other. Mr. Crockwell told us the magazine is expected to be released in May.
The name of the publication is Visions, V-I-S-I-O-N-Z, and we'll be publishing, date is Monday, May 1st. We're looking to have it quarterly, so we'll be looking at another one towards the end of summertime. The reason why we have decided to put this publication together is because, number one, it's needed in Bermuda on a hill. It's needed for our community. It's needed for the workers. It's needed for family members. It's needed for victims. It's needed for those left behind, whether they are related or not. And so the challenge was taken up once I had a conversation with a father of someone who has been murdered, Eugene Crockwell to name. So he had challenged that something good must come out of this, and because of that, we have started the process.
Now, what will be your main message, and to whom will you be targeting?
Initially, we want to be targeting parents because we believe that parents have influence over our young people. We are looking to move into our young people. We're having them part of the production and the process of the magazine, putting it together. We actually have an agreement with Cedar Bridge Academy and Berkeley Institute, so we will be getting them more involved, which is why our publication and our launch date, the official launch date, is in May 1st.
And Mr. Crockwell is no stranger to the agony caused by the loss of a loved one to gang violence.
Unfortunately, we have lost many members in Bermuda, and particularly I have been related to quite a few, 6 with Raymond Butterfield. That makes too many.
The idea for the publication has attracted the attention of National Security Minister Jeff Barron, who believes the anti-violence theme of the magazine will ultimately save lives.
A simple reason: I believe in Desmond. I believe in what he stands for. I believe that his intentions are not only possible, not only likely to succeed, but it comes from a good place. And from the time I met him, he's being modest, but this publication is going to save lives. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to.
That's the stake here. This publication will save lives. And it's going to do that because we are, again, engaging and empowering the community in a bigger way, in a broader way, reaching different demographics. This is going to be in schools. And we're really changing the mindset. It turns out in the last couple of years, through different sets of polling and different sets of studies done within the schools, the public perception of gangs and gang memberships has dropped There's not that positive pie in the sky view of how attractive this lifestyle is. It's false. And but convincing people, particularly young people who don't feel like they have many avenues of that, is very difficult. And what Desi is doing through the networking and through the stories is really providing the community with a voice and an avenue. And the authority that comes from a mother who has lost a son is like no other.
In other news, Team New Zealand's America's Cup boat has traveled its fastest, and it's not in the water. Earl Baisden has more of the challengers of the 35th America's Cup making their way to Bermuda.
Just when you thought you had seen it all, an America's Cup racing boat on a cargo plane. An Emirates Sky Cargo 747 airplane carrying the Emirates Team New Zealand America's Cup racing boat departed Auckland Airport in New Zealand and arrived in Bermuda earlier this evening.
Finished loading the main deck, everything fits, and it is a big relief. It's great effort actually. You can see it's poking out the front, it's so full. So pretty happy about that. Now we can get to game, sleep, and get on the plane in the morning.
This is the push to the top of the mountain for us, and I'm getting pretty excited. This is where it doesn't take much to get you motivated when you realise what's at stake now, and where we're at, because I know we're going to get there. We're going to be really competitive.
Emirates Team New Zealand COO Kevin Shoebridge is quoted as saying, "It's really a precise operation that the guys are running, but it was always going to be. We have had this plan in the pipeline for a good 6 months or so now. So at the end of the day, it is just part of our process towards getting to Bermuda to bring the America's Cup home to New Zealand. But the deployment is on and every day counts, so we need everything to go as planned so that we are back testing and sailing on the Great Sound of Bermuda in as little time as possible." I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Now Earl has more from the sports desk.
It was a glorious Sunday morning as the Digicel Trifast and ITU Continental Cup event took place in Hamilton yesterday with some strong performances. The ITU Continental Cup male elite race was won by Eli Hemming from the United States with a time of 55:14. Fellow American Jason West was second in 55:21, and Canadian Alexis LePage finished third in 56 flat. Unfortunately, Bermuda's Tyler Smith was unable to complete the race due to an injury. Following his victory, Hemming commented on his finish holding off West.
It was that first lap, he was the one that took it out real hard, and I figured kind of reel him in as slow as I can, not waste my legs early. So I just hoped for it that I still had it, really. It's kind of some false sense of security running up there like, I think I have it.
Canada's Dominika Jenmicki won the elite women's race, stopping the clock in 1:02.28. Caitlin Donner from the United States of America finished second in 1:02.53, and Emmy Legal from Canada finished third in 1:03.06. Bermuda's Erica Hawley finished seventh, crossing the line in a time of 1:06.55. Jenmicki was asked about her biggest fear factor she had before the start of the race.
I was actually mostly worried about the swim, just because there were fast swimmers in the race today, so I didn't want too much of a gap, but it turned out that I came out of the water quite close and I was able to connect on the bike, and we had that fantastic breakaway which played in our favor today, and I was able to hold off Caitlin Donner from the US to take the win. So
Matthew Oliveira won the Digicel Trifast Adult Open race, clocking a time of 1:05.53, but said parts of the course were challenging.
But the bike course was definitely pretty challenging because there was a lot of uphills and sharp U-turns and corners and stuff. So that definitely would slow me down from other triathlons in the past. But I took my road bike out instead of my time trial bike, so I had better handling on the course, and I just rode it like I ride a crit in a bicycle race.
Karen Smith was the first female finisher and 6th overall with a time of 1:11.30, and she described the finish for her.
It's a little bit of visualization on the last half lap, because I know it's a half a mile, so I think it's two 400s on the track, or an 800, 2 laps. And then I kind of say, okay, that's 1 lap done, it's just another 400 to do, and then you'll start to see the finish line. So I just kind of think about it like that. What does it feel like to do that last 400 at a track workout? And that's what that last little bit of running in feels like.
It was celebration time for the PHC Zebras, who were crowned the 2016-17 Bermuda Football Association's FA Challenge Cup champions following their 1-0 extra time win over the North Village Rams at the National Sports Center yesterday. The game's first and only goal came in the 113th minute when PHC Zebras defender Darren Usher scored from close range. The PHC Zebras had an opportunity to take a 1-0 lead in the first half. However, captain Sequoia Robinson had his penalty kick saved by Taj Bell in goal for North Village Rams. Coach Scott Morton gave this evaluation of the match.
Well, what I first really appreciate is the total match, meaning the opponents, North Village, and the game that they brought to us. And obviously, it's always exciting for the fans, and that's critical in FA Cup finals. But outside of that, my players, they just believed, they just kept giving the all. They were really coaching themselves, so that's one thing I really appreciate.
North Village Rams head coach DeVar Boyles was concerned about the start that his team had.
I think sometimes it's a little bit about temperament. I'm trying to find the right balance up here between relaxation and tension. I think some of the players were a little tight than they would normally be. So, but I have to ask them, and that's how it looks. You never know until you ask.
10-man Devonshire Colts defeated the PHC Zebras 2-1 to be crowned the 2016-17 Bermuda Football Association Premier Development League knockout champions. Colts got goals from DeAndre Wainwright and Kyle Jones, who scored 4 minutes after Eli Smith had been shown the red card. The PHC Zebras got an opening goal from Kevin Lamb after some 3 minutes. Lamb had the opportunity to draw a PHC level, but had his penalty kick saved by Gregory Rose. The match between Darray Rollins and Kamal Lavrock, playing for Sussex and Cardiff, ended in a draw. On day 3, the final day, Sussex resumed at 207 for 6. They went on to make 414, with both Denny Briggs and Chris Nash retiring on 103. Aaron Nijar was the pick of the Cardiff bowlers. He bowled 27 overs. He had 1 maiden, 3 for 113. Lavrock finished with figures of 12 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 49. Cardiff returned to bat for the second inning and scored 86 for 3 in their 30 overs before play was brought to an end. A total of 16 swimming medals were won during the Mallards Long Course Challenge in Canada. Bermuda was represented by Abigail Powell, Rye Inslee, Daria Desmond, Chelsea Lomas, Bella Howes, and Taylor Horan. Howes picked up a total of 6 medals. She won 1 gold and 5 silver. Lomas won 1 silver and 1 bronze, while Inslee won 1 gold and 4 bronze. Desmond won 2 gold and 1 silver. Meet number 7 was hosted by the Pacers as the Bermuda National Athletic Association's track and field season continued at the National Sports Center on Saturday. Maisha Sharif won the under-13 girls 800-meter run with a time of 2:44.96. Ramaya Brangman was second in 2:55.16, and Catherine Bean Rosario was third in 3:07.16. The under-18 girls 100-meter dash saw Talila Wares clock a time of 12:63. Zakeisha Parsons was second in 12:68, and Zai Simmons was third in 13:22. Jace Donawa won the under-13 boys 800-meter run with a time of 2:45.69. Paris Mitchell Robinson finished second in 2:46.31, and Nyan Grant finished third in 2:47.08. The 100-meter dash in the boys under-18 saw Danilo Brengman clock a time of 11:34. Clevante Lodge finished second in 11:56, and Lejean Matthews finished third in 11:67. Tyler Smith and her Jackson State women's tennis teammates went down 6-1 to Southern Miss in Jacksonville, Mississippi. Smith, playing in the number 1 singles position, went down in a third-set tiebreaker. Smith, taking on Carolina Destra, was down 1-0 when she fell in the first set 6-3. Smith would rebound and win the second set 6-3 to level the match and send it to the third-set tiebreaker. Smith would not find the form she needed as she went down 6-1. In the doubles, Smith teamed up with Lucia Solis, and the pair picked up a 6-2 victory in the number 2 doubles position. Looking at Bermuda's professional English players, Nottingham Forest triumphed 2-0 to claim their first win under Mark Wartburn and ease their relegation fears, but put a dent in Nicky Wells and his Huddersfield teammates' already floundering automatic promotion hopes. Rai Simon's teammate Joe Rawley scored his first goal to give Chesterfield a 1-0 victory over Port Vale that keeps their slender Sky Bet League One survival hopes alive for another week. John Stadd and Matt Tootle struck inside the final 5 minutes as Notts County snatched a 2-1 win over Reggie Lamb and his Sky Bet League 2 playoff hopeful teammate Carlisle United. Mitchell Campbell and his Skidmore College men's golf teammates fired a tournament low 301 to finish second in the New York Invitational played at the par 71 Forest Hill Field Club. Trinity College shot a combined total of 618 and they finished 3 strokes ahead of Skidmore. Campbell had a tournament low round with a even par 71 to finish second place with a combined score of 151. He finished 3 strokes behind the winner, Chris Fisher from Farmingdale. John and Matthew Lejeune competed in the FIS Junior World Skiing Championships in Italy. Both Bermuda boys skied their way into the top 16 in the single moguls. Matthew Lejeune finished 11th with a score of 60.69, while John Lejeune finished 13th after recording a score of 55.56. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Big savings of $2 on local carrots, 4-pound bag, only $4.99. Save more than half price on fresh Purdue chicken thighs or drumsticks, $1.79 per pound. A dozen large Dunkley's brown or white eggs, just $2.19. For all your baking, Robin Hood flour, 5-pound bag, only $3.69. Sweet savings on Atlantic sugar, 4-pound bag, only $2.69. Have a wonderful and safe Easter holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us. In Bermuda, we're getting trained to protect children from sexual abuse. When we train an organization, we're healing the adults in those classes because many of the adults who are taking the training have been scarred by the issue of child sexual abuse. And many of them are victims. And we did not realize that when we started this organization. We knew we'd be saving children, little children. We didn't know that we were going to be saving big children. And we are all God's children, big and small. And this organization have saved little ones through prevention and big ones through validation and support and truth. Join us in protecting Bermuda's children. Visit scarsbermuda.com to learn how.
Less than 25% of Bermudians have saved enough to enjoy retirement. Yes, it's easy to come up with excuses. Credit card debt, children's education, low wages. Although these things can put a strain on your budgets, they don't make it impossible to save. At Friesenbrook Meyer, we'll show you how. And it's never too late. Call us for a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Covering possibility.
America's newest tall ship is in Bermuda on an educational voyage. Earl Basin brings us to the ship in the Hamilton Harbor.
America's newest tall ship arrived in Bermuda yesterday on an educational voyage after a successful first season of programs in New England. America's new 200-foot tall ship sailing school vessel, Oliver Hazard Perry, spent March in Florida where she completed 2 round-trip voyages to Cuba with adults as well as high school and college students aboard. Now the 3-mast, full-rigged ship is in Bermuda on a voyage hosted in partnership with Ocean Navigator magazine for adults learning the skill of offshore navigation. With a main mast that towers 13.5 stories high, 19 spars, 20 sails, and 7 miles of running rigging, Perry will be quite the visual treat for the island residents and visitors during her 4-day stay in Bermuda. 2017 will be an historical year for the SSV Oliver Hazard Perry. We are so proud of how far our program has come and the exciting schedule ahead of us, said Oliver Hazard Perry, Rhode Island Executive Director Jessica Worsbacher. She goes on to say, simply visiting somewhere like Cuba and Bermuda is exciting in itself, but it's quite another thing to arrive on a tall ship where you have been fully immersed in the adventure and are responsible for actually getting yourself there. End quote. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to weather news, a beautiful Tuesday in store for us. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. And as we take a look across Bermuda, we have high pressure in place. So we had a nice day today. It looks like some pretty nice weather for tomorrow. A front off to the east and an area of low pressure that's going to be forming. That is actually going to bring some clouds, maybe a little bit more in the way of clouds in for the late week here. But you can see across Bermuda right now, not really any activity across the island. All the activity is farther to the east. Our current conditions out there, the temperature is at 68 degrees in St. George's. Hamilton's checking in at 67. Somerset Dockyard is also at 67 degrees. Our humidity is 55 to 60%. Winds are out of the northeast at 12 knots. The water temperature is 68 degrees. Waves inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. On the outside, they are at 3 to 5 feet. Now for tonight, we'll see a temperature of 63 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, a high temperature of 68 degrees with a low temperature of 64. High tide, the first high tide comes tonight at 9:11 p.m. The low tide comes at 3:25 in the morning for Tuesday. High tide number 2 is at 9:35 in the morning on Tuesday. And then low tide number 2 comes at 3:25 in the afternoon. Here's your gateway forecast. If you're traveling anywhere, we've got some sunshine in New York. We're also going to see sunshine, very warm in Boston, 80 degrees. 80 degrees also in Atlanta with some sunshine. Barbados, 86 degrees with some showers around the area. Trinidad is at 91 degrees. So here's our extended outlook. For your Tuesday, things looking pretty nice. We have a partly sunny sky. It gets a little warmer on Wednesday. We may see a little bit more clouds moving in for Wednesday. Some high clouds start to move in. Thursday, we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. We may end up with a decent amount of clouds. Friday looking dry. By Friday night, we could see some showers in the area as a front goes through, and then cooler for your Saturday. And then on Saturday, we still can't rule out a shower with a temperature of only 67 degrees. If you want to keep up to date with all the weather has to offer, tune in to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Introducing Create, your style, your way. We at Big Savings Zone understand that you are unique and your style is personal. We know that your home is a reflection of who you are, and that's why you should create it your way. First, choose your style. Second, choose your color. Third, choose your accent pillows. With these 3 simple steps, you can now design your perfect living room. You are one of a kind, and so is your home. So create your style, your way. Exclusively available at Big Savings Zone, Southside, St. David's.
The following is an informational video on the new radiation therapy unit brought to you by Bermuda Cancer and Health Center.
Bermuda Cancer and Health Center are introducing radiation therapy to Bermuda because we've recognized that there's a lack of access to care. We have approximately 200 people every year in Bermuda who would benefit from radiation therapy. Currently, we're seeing around 100 people actually get access to that treatment because it's only available overseas. For those individuals who may not have robust health insurance or have no insurance at all, getting overseas for access to care can be very, very challenging. Bermuda Cancer and Health Center, as the charity that are providing this service, means that our commitment to the community is everyone will be provided with care regardless of their ability to pay.
So radiation therapy is an anti-cancer treatment. It works by a machine producing a beam of photons that kills cancer cells. It's a very targeted beam that goes right into the center of the cancer and kills all the cancer cells that it can. With the model that we've designed here at Bermuda Cancer and Health Center, with the collaboration with Dana-Farber and Brigham and Women's Cancer Institute, we think that we can utilize the 2 most important things. One being near your family and your friends while you're going through a difficult treatment, while at the same time every decision, every part of the treatment is overseen and designed by one of the world's leading cancer centers.
Operating a radiation treatment facility is, when it comes to safety, the #1 priority in terms of ensuring that those that use the facility, those that are working at the facility, our neighbors, members of public, that everyone is safe from potential exposure. And so we have worked very closely with the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center, who are ranked #4 by the U.S. News and World Report. to oversee the project design, construction, project management, and how the facility will be operated. And certainly the design is for a world-class, international standard operation.
Radiation treatment has a role all the way through the cancer journey. It can be used early on as the main part that cures the cancer. It can be used in combination with other treatments, so in combination with surgery or with chemotherapy. It can also be used for pain control, so if cancer is causing pain, radiation is very good at alleviating the pain. And it can also be used to help with symptoms towards the end of life.
The benefit with the introduction of radiation therapy on the island is really significant to the community, the whole community. Patients being able to receive this level of care at home means that they will not need to spend anywhere from 5 to 9 weeks overseas getting care. And us providing this as a not-for-profit, as a charity, we will realize anywhere from 20% to 50% savings. And what we know as well is when patients can stay at home and receive care, that normalcy, that living that normal life and day to day and being able to continue to work is significant in terms of the overall healing and effectiveness of care.
This informational video on the new radiation therapy unit was brought to you by Bermuda Cancer and Health Center.
And that's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Good night.